So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another Way of the Hunter video. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about the update that happened on the development branch on Steam yesterday for Way of the Hunter. There was a really cool update as I mentioned on the development branch, and there is a very cool update in the works being tested out right now. So basically the development branch is where the updates get tested before they go to full release for all platforms, and you have to opt into the beta to actually be able to play with the sort of update while it's being worked on. And I actually did that because there was a very cool new addition, that being the brown bear to Transylvania. Now I'm going to go through all of the patch notes that are for this update that actually happened on the development branch, and like I said, it's currently being tested and worked on in the development branch, and if it is stable and everything's working the way the devs want it, then I expect it won't be entirely long until we actually see this update being fully released. And I really like the fact that they actually have a beta development branch on Steam that you can opt into, and it's basically there to go and look for bugs and for players to be able to help them and give feedback on the game and, you know, say, hey, this is causing a crash or this is causing a problem, and then they can actively work on that before they push out the update onto everyone's game. So I think it's a really cool feature, and this is my first time actually opting into the development branch. So yeah, this was a very interesting experience. But without getting any further into the video, let's go through the patch notes. So as you can see there at the top, it says development branch, Steam, version 1.17 patch notes. Added, brown bear in Transylvania. Really cool, and that's what most of this video is going to be about, but that's number one on the list. Tuned, reduced chromatic aberration and vignetting. Tuned, multiple environmental visual bugs, e.g. levitating stones. Tuned, multiple animations related to firearms handling and player movement. Tuned, firearm synchronization audio. Fixed, hunting log data not updating properly if the animal was younger at the time of an earlier bullet hit. Brackets, fix is only for newly created hunting log entries. Older hunting log entries will be fixed in a future update. And this makes me think that there may be hope for that moose that I apparently shot when it was younger and then, you know, shot it as a 5-star. The whole thing I made a video about. This makes me think that there may well eventually be a fix for that. So I'm very glad I ended up taxidermying that moose, and it will be interesting to see what happens with that. Fixed, missing shot sound on the 338. Fixed, analytics turn off option. Fixed, animal reward update after integrity loss. Fixed, fixed hunting log displaying all animals as young when no taxidermy data is available. Fixed, animation of small game animals stuttering when seen through optics. Fixed, individual animals straying too far from their herd and causing unintended spooking behaviour. Fixed, looping vehicle audio. Fixed, crashes. Crash when switching to window mode. Random crash after the animal has been shot. Shooting an animal with a shotgun in multiplayer resulting in server crash. Rare crash when interacting with a static animal sign. Fixed, notifications of discoveries around the map. Fixed, continuously shooting with shotgun leading to a drop in FPS. Fixed, infinite jumping loop. And fixed, multiple localization issues. And something that wasn't in these patch notes that I have noticed a lot whilst actually playing on this build since last night is they have added ambient birds. I have seen so many ambient birds while playing on the development branch. It's amazing. You've got smaller birds, you've got some like hawks flying around. It's really brilliant, and it does add a lot of immersion to the game, I feel, and I really like that they have actually added that, as I've seen that being requested a lot. And that just goes to show that they are listening to the community, which is fabulous. A lot of these fixes and everything that they've been doing shows that they've been listening to the community, and I am so much in support of that. And the fact that we're getting so many updates, so many fixes, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, interesting that the ambient birds weren't mentioned in the patch notes that were actually listed, and I wonder if that was just an oversight and they'll actually be listed sort of in the full release patch notes before this update gets pushed out onto everybody's game. But now, let's move on to talking about the brand new animal edition, the brown bear. Now, originally the brown bear was listed as an animal that was going to be included on release, but that was a little bit of a mistake, and they didn't know if they would actually have the brown bear ready in time, and when it came to it, they decided that it wasn't quite ready, and they decided that they would hold it back and release it in a future update. Well, it looks like that future update can't be far away, as now the brown bear have been released into the development branch, and honestly, I have been hunting them basically since last night, and they are awesome. I think they've done such a fantastic job, and I honestly think that probably holding them back was a really good decision. And you can see the info here in the encyclopedia on the screen, so this gives you an idea of their age ranges, of course their need zone times, and of course they are a class 6 animal, that is completely to be expected, and yeah, they are huge. The brown bear are huge. Also interesting to note, under body variations, young brown bears are considerably smaller than when mature, and young ones also have larger ears which stick out and a less massive neck and body. So interesting, there should actually be some visible differences between younger bears and more mature bears, which once again I think is really awesome. Now, just before we move into some footage of the brown bears in game, just worth mentioning that when I joined this development branch beta, that it did actually set me all the way back to the beginning of the game, so I don't have a lot of the equipment and stuff that I would on my normal save. Don't worry, my normal save with all my trophies and everything is completely safe, but whilst I'm in the development branch, I don't actually have all of that equipment, so if you see me using a different scope and stuff, that's going to be why. And it's also probably very worth mentioning that yes, I am going to be using the camera mode a lot in this video. Not to try and use it, you know, as a hunting device or anything like that. I am using it purely in order to be able to show off these brand new models for you all in this video. And anything that I shoot, basically, I won't be keeping anyway, as this is, like I said, the development branch, and I will actually be opting out of the beta later tonight so that I can carry on playing on my normal save with all my normal trophies and stuff. But taking a bit of a static look at the models here using the camera mode after I just spooked these off the road, just look at how incredible these models are. The huge paws and claws, and those big noses, and just that really huge head. I think they've done such a good job with the model. Compared to the first image we ever saw, I think they've made some really huge improvements. Now, before I leave you with some footage I actually managed to record of the brown bears, I just want to mention as well how much better the game actually looks graphics wise with the improvements that they've mentioned in those patch notes. The environment detail is so much crisper and sharper and cleaner, and honestly I think it looks fantastic. Even the animal models look better in my opinion, they look more crisp, the fur detail looks sharper. Like I said, I think they've just done a really fantastic job with the graphics update for this as well, and I'm super impressed, just super impressed by this whole update. But now I'll stop talking for a bit and leave you with some footage that I managed to take of some brown bears, and then I will catch up with you again when I actually manage to take one of these down. So after watching these couple of bears for a decent amount of time, I decided it was probably finally time to actually try it and take one out. Now, I tried to go for a brain shot there with the 243. As I mentioned earlier, I don't have my normal guns, and the 243 was the best rifle I had, and this was actually the best scope I had as well. So I was working with limited equipment, and I had actually successfully dropped a brown bear with a brain shot earlier, but unfortunately that footage actually got messed up, so I don't have the recording of that. And as soon as I saw that the brain shot attempt didn't pay off here, I basically just spammed as many shots at this particular bear as possible just to try and bring it down. I'm not worried about integrity or hunt rating or anything like that. I just wanted to actually bring one down in a video clip so that you could all see how big these things are. Like, they are huge. You will have been able to see there sort of compared to the player model. These things are massive, and honestly I'm really impressed by the sheer scale of these guys. They are just huge, and to see them walking around on Transylvania was just so cool, so different, because obviously there's not been any bears on the map. And then when I first saw a couple of these bears, they were right by the road, and they completely took me by surprise. They're just awesome. Now you can see there was a couple of decent shots in there that helped bring this bear down, a couple of artery and lung shots it looks like, but I'm not too worried actually about the shot placement. As I said, I was just trying to bring this thing down as quickly as possible. Obviously normally this isn't how I would hunt. I wouldn't normally just spam shots at anything that's fleeing away, but I just wanted to be able to bring one of these absolutely stunning bears down to be able to show you them in the harvest screen. And in the harvest screen, just look at that model and all that fur detail. Honestly, I think this is genuinely one of the best bear models I've seen in any hunting game. I really don't normally like hunting bears, I'll be honest with you. Bears in hunting games for me, I don't normally really get very excited about them, just purely because I feel like in a lot of games the models aren't great, but the models for these look really good. And I'm actually really keen to go and get some trophy brown bear when they actually release into the full game and get them into my trophy lodge, because they look fantastic. And I'm actually going to leave you with the end of the video, which is actually taking a look at the brand new taxidermy mounts for the brown bears in the Trophy Lodge, and they are fantastic. There's some that are pretty similar to the black bear mounts over on Nez Perce Valley, and they just look incredible. They look actually incredible. I'm so pleased, and I can't wait to get some of these mounts into my Trophy Lodge. Just the fact you can see the huge paws and just the sheer size of these bears, I think they're just so impressive. But that is going to be it from me in this video, so I really hope you have enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments what you think of the brown bear, what do you think of the models, and also what do you think of the graphics improvements and stuff that we're seeing as well. I think the team are doing such a fantastic job. I honestly think Way of the Hunter has an incredibly bright future, and it's amazing to see a team that are working so incredibly hard to bring us regular updates, regular fixes, and that are listening to us so attentively with stuff that we're, bringing up. I think it's really great. But like I said, that is going to be it from me in this video, so I will now leave you going through all of the different mounts and poses for the brown bear in the Trophy Lodge. So once again, just a huge thank you for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.